There is a Swedish car that owners will tell you to buy immediately if you find one in good condition. They will warn you about rust in the rear quarter panels. They will insist you check the maintenance records. But they will also tell you something else. They will tell you that if you find a clean example, you should buy it because they will never make another car like this again. The Volvo 240, 19 years on the same platform. 2,862,573 units built. It outlasted its own replacement. It became the NHTSA crash test benchmark. If you are into cars that were built to last, like the video and subscribe. Back to the story. Documented examples exist with over 1 million miles on the original engine block. And here is what you need to understand. This car was not built to compete. It was built to survive. Every decision, every component, every millimeter of steel was engineered with an obsession that modern automotive economics will never allow again. By the end of this, you will understand why the 240 represents the closing of a window and why that window will never reopen. In 1958, Volvo hires an aerospace engineer named Niels Bohlin with a single mandate: invent a better seatbelt. Bohlin designs the 3-point seatbelt, the one in every car you have ever sat in. Then Volvo makes a decision that still seems impossible by modern corporate standards. They make the patent freely available to every manufacturer on Earth. No licensing fees, no royalties, free. That decision is credited with saving over 1 million lives. The German Patent Office later ranks it among the 8 most significant patents for humanity between 1885 and 1985, alongside the work of Benz, Edison, and Diesel. This is not a company that views safety as a competitive advantage to be protected. This is a company that views safety as a moral obligation. When development of the 240 begins in the early 1970s, that philosophy is already embedded in Volvo's DNA. The 240's engineering traces directly to the Volvo experimental safety car, unveiled at the 1972 Geneva Motor Show. This prototype is designed to survive frontal collisions at 50 miles per hour, far beyond any production standard. It features airbags for all occupants, energy-absorbing bumpers, a reinforced safety cage, and a revolutionary front-end design where the engine is forced downward beneath the cabin floor during a crash. All of it migrates into the production 240. Jan Vilsgaard designs the car. He serves as Volvo's chief designer from 1950 to 1990, 40 years. His design philosophy is disarmingly simple. There is often beauty in functionality. The Volvo 240's uncompromising boxiness is not a styling choice. It is a functional mandate. Those angular surfaces maximize interior space, improve visibility, simplify manufacturing, and create enormous crumple zones. When the car is shown to media on August 21, 1974, journalists are flown by charter plane to Borlänge, Sweden, where a fleet of orange Volvo 244 GLs awaits them. Under CEO Per Gyllenhammar, who takes the helm in 1971 at age 35, the company has adopted environmental care as its third core value alongside safety and quality. Gyllenhammar is famous for putting people before profits, refusing layoffs during recessions. He is voted Sweden's most admired man 9 times. He will remain one of the 240's biggest champions until personally handing over the keys to the final example in 1993. The 240 rides on a steel unibody with an integral safety cage. The passenger cell features redundant load paths. Front and rear crumple zones are deliberately oversized. Steel side impact beams reinforce every door. In publicity demonstrations, Volvo drops a 240 on its roof without collapse. They stack 2 240s atop a third to demonstrate roof strength. The heart of the car is the red block engine family, so named for the red paint applied at the factory. These are cast iron inline 4s with 5 bearing crankshafts, where many competitors use 3. Non-interference camshaft designs mean a snapped timing belt will not destroy the engine. Oil pumps are sized for commercial diesel duty. The engine evolves across the 19-year run. The B21 produces up to 162 horsepower, turbocharged with an intercooler. The B230 delivers up to 182 horsepower in European turbo form. In racing trim, the B21 is reliably pushed to 300 to 380 horsepower on stock bottom ends. This is testimony to the fundamental over-engineering of the iron block. In 1976, Volvo became the first automobile manufacturer in the world to equip a production car with a Bosch oxygen sensor paired with a three-way catalytic converter and closed-loop feedback control. Tom Quinn, chairman of the California Air Resources Board, called it the most significant breakthrough ever made in the control of vehicle exhaust emissions. This technology remains the operating principle of every modern gasoline engine. By 1978, the 240 was named the USA's cleanest car. This is not compliance engineering. This is leadership. The chassis pairs McPherson strut front suspension with a live rear axle located by trailing arms, torque rods, a panhard rod, and coil springs. Rear disc brakes are standard across the entire range at a time when most competitors still used rear drums. The 240 was not designed to be profitable in year 1 or year 5. It was designed to be profitable across 2 decades on a single platform. Volvo initially estimated the car would remain in production only until the early 1980s. They were wrong. The 240 lasted until 1993, outliving its intended successor, the 700 series, which launched in 1982 and was discontinued in 1992, a full year before the 240. The safety record of the Volvo 240 does not just meet standards, it becomes the standard. In 1976, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration rated the Volvo 244 safety cage best among all compact sedans tested. The agency then purchased 24 Volvo 240 cars to serve as the benchmark reference vehicle for developing future American automotive safety standards. According to data from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, covering 1988 to 1990, the Volvo 240 recorded 0 driver fatalities per million miles driven, ranking first in the entire United States. The Highway Loss Data Institute rated the 240 estate as the safest car in its size class in America for 4 consecutive years. As late as 1991, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety still cited the Volvo 240 wagon as the safest car on the American market. A driver's airbag became available from 1987, 11 years before the US federal mandate. Group A touring car homologation in 1983 saw Volvo build 500 Evolution cars. The racing versions extracted 300 to 380 horsepower from the 2.1-litre turbo, reached 260 km per hour, and weighed just 1,065 kilograms stripped for competition. In 1985, the Flying Brick won 6 of 14 European Touring Car Championship rounds. Thomas Lindstrom and Gianfranco Brancatelli took the overall title. The sight of a squared-off Volvo wagon platform racing car battling a BMW 695 CSI creates one of motorsport's greatest underdog narratives. Today, Belgian company GDM Motors builds exact Group A replicas at €160,000 each for historic racing. The 240's durability mythology is documented evidence. Selden Cooper of Maryland drove his 1987 240 sedan to 1 million miles. A 1979 245 GL in Finland accumulated 1.63 million miles hauling freight parcels through Lapland. An Australian couple drove their 1979 245 1.24 million miles while raising 7 children. Even a 1990 240 sedan found in a Denver junkyard bore 631,999 miles on its odometer, the all-time junkyard mileage record. The 240 appears in over 2,000 film and television productions. In the 1992 sitcom Whoops, about surviving a nuclear apocalypse, a character is asked how he survived the missiles. He answers that he was in a Volvo. IKEA founder Ingvar Kamprad, one of the world's wealthiest people, drove a 1993 240DL for decades. The production line at Torslanda falls silent on May 5, 1993. CEO Gyllenhammar hands the keys of the last customer car to a Swedish woman under the motto, "The last 240 and the best." He declares that they built the safest car in the world, which is already a living legend and will be even more so in the years to come. The factory crew builds one final joke car, a deliberately shortened two-door wagon painted white with Corta lead tider, Swedish for short lead times, on the doors. It is their farewell tribute to a platform they have assembled for nearly 2 decades. The 240 cannot be replicated because the economics that created it no longer exist. A 5-bearing crankshaft and a 4-cylinder. Rear disc brakes were standard across every trim level. An oil pump sized for a commercial diesel. These choices made financial sense only in an era when a Swedish company could keep a single platform running for 19 years, amortizing tooling costs across 2.86 million units. Today's cars are measurably safer in absolute terms, but they are also more complex, less owner-serviceable, more disposable, and designed for a shorter life cycle. The question is not whether modern cars are technically superior. The question is what we lost when engineering integrity became subordinate to quarterly earnings. A 1993 240 wagon sold for $59,500 at auction in September 2024. A bone-stock 1987 240 DL wagon with 60,458 miles fetched $36,750. The enthusiast community remains vibrant. The 240 was built to last because its creators genuinely believed a car should protect its occupants and then keep running. For decades, for hundreds of thousands of miles. That philosophy, executed with cast iron and Swedish stubbornness, produced something unrepeatable. Not because the technology is lost, because the willingness to spend 19 years perfecting a single platform, to give engineers precedence over accountants, to make safety patents freely available to competitors, that willingness is gone. The window closed. If you appreciate engineering integrity over quarterly earnings, subscribe for more stories about the craftsmanship that modern economics will never allow again.